Okay, guys, so I'm tired of not being able to build. I imagine you might be tired of not being able to build. So we are going to build something. That's right. Long distance learning, building, engineering kind of stuff going on. So for the last 2 weeks of class, this is what we're going to do. I'm all excited. Can't you tell? All right. So during World War I, if you'll remember back to that episode we did, we talked about the trenches and trench warfare. Now, one of the things that was going on with trench warfare and why it was just so miserable was if you stood up, if you looked above the parapet there, the top of the dirt, you're going to get shot. There were guys on the other side, hidden in little areas, getting ready to shoot anybody who they saw. Now, the idea behind these periscopes were that they were a way for the soldiers to see over the top and to not get killed. So that was the design of this, or the purpose of this design, this invention. So we're going to build one. You can build one right there in your house. You can find common everyday materials. I've seen these things that kids have built out of paper towel tubes. I've seen them built out of cereal boxes. I've seen them built out of fancy PVC pipe. If you Google trench periscope or periscope build, you'll find some good stuff. All right, so let's take a look at the inner workings of one. You have a box or a tube with an opening at the top up here. You have two mirrors, A, B, okay? So the idea there is that there are some specific angles that these things are at, okay, to the opening so that it will reflect downward from here into there to your eye. So that's the whole idea behind this build, is that it will reflect in so you can see the image. So that's how some of the they're laid out. You have to figure out how to put it together. Now, if you don't have a mirror, okay, because a lot of people, that's not going to be something they're going to have around the house, little perfectly shaped mirrors. Now, if you happen to be a girl or know a girl who wears makeup, or a woman who wears makeup and has an old compact or something you could get a mirror out of, that might be useful. Otherwise, you could use aluminum foil or any other reflective surface and approximate what we would do. That approximation would not take points away from you. All right, scrolling down, talking about the build rules. No kits from the internet. Nope, sorry, you can't order one from Amazon. I imagine it would get here in time, but no. Now, no 3D printing unless you create the digital object to print. So if you show your telescope and we see all this 3D printed stuff, we better be able to see a file that you created, that you pull up, okay? So make sure that if you have a 3D printer at home or something like that and you're going to plan on using it, that's fine, but you better create the digital file or the digital object. All right, you must present your project and Collaborate the week of the 25th through the 29th. That's the last week of school. Yes, you will log on to Collaborate. Yes, you will sign up for a time. Yes, you will explain your periscope using the how you accomplished each step of the engineering design process. Okay, so basically, if we look at that, you'll have to walk through how you achieved each one of these sections. So for example, identify the problem. Well, build a periscope. I need to be able to see up over the back of the couch, whatever you want to talk about there, using that as your problem. Then gather information. How are they built? That sort of stuff. Do your research. 3, identify possible solutions to start problem solving, coming up with some ideas. Create a prototype. That's where you maybe start looking at how you're going to build this, and you actually start putting some things together to, maybe you're not hot gluing it together all the way or putting tape on it yet, but maybe you do put a little bit together, and then you're like, ooh, I guess I'm going to evaluate it now. and then you decide whether this is the right one or the way to do it, or maybe you're going to fix it up somehow. You refine it, back you go, evaluate, and then eventually you communicate about it. When you communicate about it, that is your presentation. Okay, so you're going to talk about how you solved all the problems in that communicate piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that you need to talk about. Okay, the problem, gather the information. Basically, what did you do for each one of these sections as we go through? Okay, so that is the telescope build. That May 25th to the 29th is when the telescope is due. Must have finished project on the 25th. Okay, presentations will be that week. I will schedule you 4 times, probably like a class period at a time. So yeah, there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.